I never thought it would end like this. That pain is just too much.
They say that love is blind, but I think they're wrong. Love isn't blind, it's a master of selective vision. It only lets you see what it wants you to believe. My name is Arthur. I'm 78 years old, and for 52 of those years, I believed I was the luckiest man alive. Sarah was my sun, my moon, and every star in my sky. To our neighbors in our small town, we were the gold standard, the couple that never fought, the couple that held hands even when the arthritis made it painful. Last Tuesday, 3 months after I buried her, I decided to clean out the space under our bed. That's when I found it. A small, blue wooden box with a rusted latch. I thought it would be love letters from our youth. I thought it would be dried flowers from our first anniversary. But as I sat there on the cold floor, my old knees popping like dry twigs, I realized that I had spent half a century living with a stranger. In relationship psychology, there is a concept called mirroring. It's when someone reflects your personality, your values, and your interests back at you to create an instant, powerful bond. Most people do it subconsciously. Sarah, she did it with the precision of a surgeon. Inside the box were journals, not diaries of love, but manuals. One was labeled The Training of Arthur, 1974 to 1980. I opened it, and my breath hitched. On the first page, she had listed my biggest insecurities, my fear of being alone, my need for female approval because of my distant mother, my obsession with order. Next to each insecurity, she had written a solution. June 14th, one entry read, "Arthur is pulling away. He wants to go on that fishing trip with his brothers. I must trigger his protection instinct. I will mention the strange man I saw near the garage today. He will stay. He will feel like a hero for staying." I remembered that day. I had canceled the trip because I was worried about her safety. I had spent the weekend fixing the garage lock while she baked my favorite apple pie. I thought it was love. The journal called it controlled isolation. As I turned the pages, I saw the term intermittent reinforcement. It's what casinos use to keep people at slot machines. You don't win every time. You win just enough to keep you hoping. Sarah had mapped out when to be cold to me and exactly when to shower me with affection to keep me addicted. She wasn't my wife. She was my architect. The most devastating part was a folder labeled 1982. That was the year I was offered the promotion in London. It was the dream of a lifetime. But that same week, Sarah became mysteriously ill. The doctors couldn't find anything, but she was bedridden, pale, and shaking. I turned down the job to stay by her side. I spent 30 years telling people how brave she was for fighting that illness. Inside the folder was a receipt from a pharmacy in the next state over and a handwritten note, dosage for induced lethargy and skin paleness. She hadn't been sick. She had poisoned herself just enough to look dying. She had anchored my guilt to her body for 30 years. Every time I looked at her for the next 3 decades, I felt a debt I paid with my dreams, my career, and my freedom. Psychologists call this the sunk cost fallacy. You stay because you've already invested so much that the thought of leaving feels like losing everything. I stayed because I thought she had sacrificed her health for our love. In reality, she had sacrificed mine. I'm 78 now. I'm sitting in a house that feels like a museum of lies. I look at our wedding photos, and I don't see my wife anymore. I see a master strategist. I see a woman who loved the power she had over me more than she loved the man I was. People ask me now, "Arthur, would you rather have never known?" It's a hard question. On one hand, I had 50 years of happiness. But was it happiness if it was manufactured in a lab? Was it love if I was never allowed to be the lead character in my own life? My advice to you, the younger generation watching this, don't just look for a partner who fits you. Look for a partner who is brave enough to disagree with you. Watch for the perfect partner, because perfection is often just a mask for control. True love doesn't need a manual. Don't wait until you're 78 to find out you've been living in a beautiful cage. Because the air out here, even if it's cold, it's the first time I've breathed for real in 50 years.